What's going on, everybody? This is your boy, A to the P, Albert Perkins, right here on the weekly wrap-up on the Structure Network, partnered with Gamers. A lot of news to get into for this week, so with that said, why don't we just go ahead and check out what we had going on for this week, the week of December 12th, 2014. Let's go! If you haven't heard yet, Sony's movie studios were hacked and a lot of information was leaked, including proposed movies. One of the proposed movies is no other than Super Mario Bros. BuzzFeed confirmed, but Sony later denied that the deal had been closed for a new Super Mario Bros. Movie. I think we can all agree that if this is indeed true, and there is a new Mario movie coming, it'll be a lot better than the 1993 failure that was. Now, there's no telling what will go down as there are rumors continue to circulate and fly regarding this anticipated film. For more on this, make sure you keep it locked right here on the Structure Network and the Weekly Wrap-Up for further updates. And speaking of movies, Sega wants in on the action as well. They have contacted and reached out to former Break Media executive editor Evan Schaufflin to make their games into live-action reality. What games can we be looking forward to? How about Altered Beast, Streets of Rage, and Shinobi to start? Virtua Fighter and Golden Axe have also been mentioned as well to make their way to the big screen. I'm all in as long as in the beginning of the movie we get to hear the familiar sound, Sega! Right? I know you're with me, right? Final Fantasy X, Final Fantasy X-2 HD Remastered have been confirmed for the PlayStation 4 console. That's right, it's coming to the PS4. Now, if you may recall, the game was released earlier this year on the PlayStation 3 and included remastered graphics as well as a refined soundtrack. It was only a few months ago that Final Fantasy X, Final Fantasy X-2 HD Remastered released on the PlayStation 3 this year, but Square is apparently holding nothing back, announcing that the PlayStation 4 version of the game is definitely in the works following a leak earlier this week. The PlayStation 4 version is said to have system-exclusive features. No telling what those features are, but if you own a PlayStation 4, this is one you definitely want to pick up, as Final Fantasy X was one of the best Final Fantasy games ever released. If you previously owned it on the PlayStation 3, like me, then, well, you're probably pretty pissed off. More Square Enix news, this time on one of the best games ever released in video game history. Final Fantasy VII is indeed coming to the PlayStation 4 as announced a couple weeks back. Now, Square went ahead and announced this week the price for Final Fantasy VII coming to the PlayStation 4. That price, $16. Now, you might think, that doesn't seem too bad. But for a game that's just being ported from the PC to be $16, that seems a bit expensive, don't you think? Here's my logic on that. The PlayStation 3 version of the game currently stands at $10. The PC version of the game on Steam is $12. By those accounts, one would expect the PlayStation 4 ported version to be right around $11, which is the average of the two. However, that's clearly not the case if you want a next-gen, quote-unquote, port of the game. Now, the internet has absolutely been furious ever since Square Enix announced that the game was basically going to be a port from the PC version. All I can say is, keep wishing, internet, because at this rate, it doesn't look like Square Enix is hearing us. But if we keep wishing and hoping, maybe one day, just one day, Square will hear us, and we will have a Final Fantasy VII revamped, remastered game with new graphics, voiceovers, the whole nine, battle system, everything. One day. One day! And finally, the Xbox One, not the PlayStation 4, was the #1 selling game console for the month of November. That's right. It looks like Microsoft has finally overtaken Sony for that streak that Sony had going on for previous 12 months. Now, Microsoft had this to say following the announcement. We are committed to making Xbox the place to play, with this year's best games, the best community of gamers to play, and terrific value. We are amazed by the excitement Xbox fans have shown to start off this holiday. The statement continued, stating that we love to see the excitement from our fans and are grateful for their passion and support to the Xbox community. This is obviously fantastic news for Microsoft. Let's hope that their sales can continue for this month going into the holiday season. Congratulations, Microsoft. And that pretty much wraps up all the news that we have for this week right here on the Weekly Wrap-Up. We appreciate you guys tuning into the show each week, as always. For more video game news and reviews, make sure you keep it locked right here on the Structure Network. And for more weekly wrap-up videos, why don't you head on over to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Weekly Wrap-Up Gaming. That's youtube.com/Weekly Wrap-Up Gaming. Proudly partnered by gamers. I am Albert Perkins, and you have been wrapped up. We'll see you next week, guys.